Hey, good afternoon to you, friends. I'm Greg Merriweather.
And I'm Cheryl Mercedes. We begin this evening with new details in the shooting death of local TV talk show host Scott Rogers.
Rogers, well known to many of you as the host of the Around Town TV show, which aired on the weekends here on Channel 9. The Iberville Sheriff's Office tells us Rogers' son-in-law shot him and then turned the gun on himself. AirMed took the son-in-law to the hospital. All of this comes as Rogers was in the middle of federal legal proceedings. Our Karen Chaw is live outside of St. Gabriel home where Rogers lived, where the shooting happened. And Karen, first, let's start with the shooting itself. What do we know now?
Well, Greg, that shooting happened around 12:40. Now, let me tell you, first of all, though, in talking to a lot of people here, this is coming something as a surprise, not only to people living here, but many in the community. Let me step out. This is where everything happened. This is Scott Rogers' home on Daisy Avenue. Now, what we are told is that the Iberville Parish Sheriff says that he received the first call around 12:40 today. When they arrived, they found Around Town show host Scott Rogers dead inside. Now, officials say that his son-in-law and the show's production manager, Mathew Hodgkinson, allegedly shot him before turning the gun on himself. But he did survive and was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. And in fact, just minutes ago, we had the prosecutor, Tony Clayton, come in, and they are now starting to investigate this as a murder as well. If we've got both of them coming in right now, we're going to start with the sheriff here. Iberville Parish Sheriff, anything new that you have?
We have detectives at the hospital, and he's still alive. Hodgkinson, still alive. He's on a ventilator, and he's sedated, but he's still alive at this time.
Any details as to how many shots were fired or where they were shot?
Well, the autopsy will be done tomorrow early, and but there was at least one shot in both the victim and the gentleman at the hospital.
And if we understand properly, you guys are saying that Mathew Hodgkinson, his son-in-law, is the one who shot Scott Rogers.
Yeah, it appears to be. This case is under investigation. We're investigating it as a homicide until we know different. It looks to be a murder-suicide attempt.
Okay. Speaking of that, they're now investigating it as a homicide. We just had Prosecutor Tony Clayton arrive a little while ago. Tell us what you guys are doing.
The sheriff is spot on what he's saying. Right now it's a homicide / attempt suicide, and this is an open case, and we're just going to follow the evidence, and there's a lot of it. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's what we're here for, and we plan on getting to the bottom line.
Now, we understand that he had a legal battle going on. Can you say anything on that end?
I wasn't privy to that, to whatever took place today. We're here now because of the murder and the attempt suicide, and I just can't give any comments about what happened with the court proceedings today.
Okay, anything else from you guys?
Federal grand jury, that's secret information. I told you it had a custody battle that took place last week in Iberville. That's about a wrap.
Okay, and we are looking into both of those things that the sheriff actually just talked about. Again, the federal grand jury that he is talking about, sources do tell us that Scott Rogers' biological daughter was actually in the middle of hearings at federal court today when deputies had to go to her to give her this news. So we are continuing to follow this news, and we will have more for you at 6 o'clock. For now, we are live in St. Gabriel. Karen Chawla, WAFB 9 News.
Karen, I'll add just a little bit to that. I talked with one of Scott Rogers' friends just a few moments ago that I know personally, and they said that the state had taken away his kids, and so he was dealing with that, and she last talked to him on Sunday saying that he was in very good spirits. We had a report earlier that perhaps there was another suicide attempt a few days ago. She did not know anything about that, but she said when she last saw him, he was in good spirits, and despite all of what was going on with that legal battle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andre Morrow.
And I'm Donna Britt. At this minute, the home of local TV host Scott Rogers remains an active crime scene. He was found shot to death just hours ago.
His son-in-law also found shot there. Rogers' weekend morning show aired here on WAFB. A hallmark of the Around Town show was its homespun feel.
Karen Chawla's live there now in St. Gabriel. Karen?
Thank you very much, guys. Now, this is still a very active scene, as you said. In fact, we've got deputies standing guard outside of Scott Rogers' home. In fact, the sheriff himself just came back. We are told that they will remain guard out here until everything is wrapped up inside. Now, let's fill you in on what happened here.
Yeah, certainly I'm shocked about all this.
This scene is what neighbor John Bilodeau is talking about. An ambulance pulling out, AirMed flying a patient to the hospital in critical condition, and deputies roping off a crime scene. Iberville Parish Sheriff Brett Stassi says they got the first call at 1240 from Daisy Avenue. Inside, they found around town talk show host Scott Rogers dead.
There's some evidence that leads us to believe that this was murder-suicide.
Sheriff Stassi says their preliminary investigation shows Rogers' son-in-law and show production manager Mathew Hodgkinson shot and killed Rogers and then tried killing himself but survived.
Right now he's very important, and he's a suspect as it relates to the murder. We'll have a deputy and detective stationed outside of his room, and if he gets to the point that he can talk, then we would like to talk to him.
Rogers was in the midst of a legal battle with a grand jury hearing underway at federal court as this scene was unfolding.
And I was assisting him as counsel in that matter, and here we are today. Very unexpected.
What were these legal matters about?
They were private family matters. That's about all I can say about that.
Now, Rogers' attorney said Donier not being able to discuss too much right there. What we can tell you is that sources tell us that there was a grand jury hearing underway at federal court. In fact, deputies actually had to go to federal court to tell Scott Rogers' daughter about this news. No word on if that hearing is still ongoing or not. Of course, we will continue following this story, and we will have much more for you coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. For now, we are live in St. Gabriel. Kieran Chawla, WAFB 9 News. Donna, Andre?
Thank you, Kieran. We want to tell them that at 10, the accused shooter left 9 News a voicemail yesterday that perhaps sheds some light on the troubles surrounding the family's situation. So you will hear that message and the latest on the police investigation we have for you tonight on 9 News at 10.